All righty, let's get into it. The Giants have worked out 7 different players here on Monday afternoon following the loss on Sunday Night Football to the Buffalo Bills. Let's start with the 5 players that I think the Giants were working out, at least 4 of them, for a potential special teams returner spot. Damiere Byrd, he's bounced around the National Football League a couple different spots, spent some time with the New England Patriots. He's done a little bit of returning in his career, and maybe the Giants look to put him in that type of situation. Also, Jalen Camp, who last spent time with the Houston Texans in 2022 as a wide receiver. Hassan Hall, who is a rookie UDFA. He's 23 years old, out of Georgia Tech in Louisville. Maybe the Giants are looking to add another running back, maybe a special teams type of player. Then you got Kyric McGowan, a wide receiver as well. Maybe the Giants are looking to add another punt return. And you got Eric Saubert, I believe is how you say his name, a tight end. But the news of the day with the people that they're working out come in at the quarterback position. We told you guys last week that the New York Giants could look to sign Matt Barkley with Daniel Jones injured. Why? Because of the relationship and the connection that Matt Barkley has with Brian Daboll. He spent 3 years in Buffalo when Daboll was the offensive coordinator, so not going to be a lot of time allotted to the fact that he's got to pick up the playbook and be ready to rock and roll. Probably come in right away and serve as a backup to Tyrod Taylor. Hasn't had that well of a career, hasn't put up the best numbers, and that's why he's been out of the league for about a year now, and why the Giants are looking at him as a quarterback to potentially sign in mid-October. He's started 7 games in his career, completes less than 60% of his passes, less than 2,700 passing yards throughout his career, 11 total touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Look, at the end of the day, if you're signing a quarterback off the streets in the middle of October, probably not a good QB. But what this tells me is I don't think that Brian Daboll is confident with having to put out Tommy DeVito in a game just yet. So maybe this is a veteran emergency backup quarterback, or they're just surveying what is out there and just being resourceful and being smart and opportunistic with this. The other veteran quarterback that they did work out is Ian Book, former quarterback for Notre Dame, has only played in 1 game in his career in the NFL, and there's just a couple of spot snaps. Look, you're looking at quarterbacks that potentially could come in and play or be a backup to somebody if they have to. I don't expect 40 and Book or Matt Barkley to start games unless there's another injury to Tyrod Taylor. But when I circle back and I just think, why would the Giants be working out veteran quarterbacks? Because the guy right now under center number 8 may be out a while. We'll get to that Daniel Jones update in a second. But also, do they trust UDFA Tommy DeVito to be the first guy up if Tyrod Taylor does get hurt? This tells me probably not. If you had to pick one of these 2 guys to sign, though, who would you rather it be? Probably going to sign him to the practice squad and then use those 4 game day elevations to see before you make a decision on if he's going to be on this team long term. Pick one to sign. Is it Matt Barkley? Is it Ian Book? Type the initials of the dude that you want to see rocking Giants blue. Coming up next, there are some rumors heating up, and I want to talk about them. Is Daniel Jones going to be out for the year? Is Daniel Jones going to be out for the year? We'll break that down in a second. But first, let me fill you guys in on a little bit of a secret here. If you like playing daily fantasy and you enjoy winning real-time money and having the ability to withdraw the money out of your account, get hooked up with the #1 daily fantasy sports app, PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the promo code CLNS, and they are going to match your initial deposit up to $100. So when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use that promo code CLNS, put $100 into your account, PrizePicks will match it with $100. All you do is you create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on the projected stat line that PrizePicks has for these players. Coming up next week, they're going to have Darren Waller's projection at 43.5 for receiving yards. I think Waller's going to have a good week. Giants started to target him down the end of the stretch of that game, and I think with Taylor under center another week, probably didn't work with Waller all that much. Another week of chemistry, he's going to lean on him a little bit more. I think A.J. Brown against the Miami Dolphins is going to have a big week. I think on Monday Night Football, the Cowboys, unfortunately, are going to blow out the Chargers, and Keenan Allen may not do all that well, so I'm going to go with less on his receiving yards. You can roll with my picks, you can fade my picks, or you could just have some your own picks as well. Just do it with our sponsor. Support the show, support the sponsor. It would mean a lot to me PrizePicks.com/CLNS. It is legitimately the best way to play daily fantasy. I do it every single Sunday. I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Go to the link, PrizePicks.com/CLNS. I will say this. The fact that the Giants are working out two veteran quarterbacks is a little bit concerning for me, and it's a little bit concerning for Daniel Jones. And let's just get to it. I think Daniel Jones might be out for a while. At the end of the day, he already missed one game. He said his goal is to play on Sunday against the Washington Commanders. But the neck injuries are always so scary, and we've already seen him one time in 2021 suffer from a neck injury that knocked him out for the entire rest of the season. I think it was the final 5 or 6 games of that year. Supposedly he had off-season neck surgery. Does he need surgery right now? Not 100% sure on that one. But I do know this. He's still feeling pain in his neck, and the pain in his neck has now traveled to his left shoulder. And one thing I know for sure is, if you have neck pain and it's causing pain in another part of your body, you probably shouldn't go play a contact sport and a collision sport in football. Just a thought. Not a doctor, but I know this. If I had a hurt neck and I felt it in my left shoulder and I saw the Giants offensive line and those were the guys that were going to have to protect me, yeah, I would probably sit out a couple weeks as well. Melissa Stark of NBC got to meet up with Daniel Jones prior to kickoff last night and said this. I talked to Daniel Jones in pregame warmups, and he says he feels pain on the left side of his neck. He's having symptoms into his left shoulder. He said he can throw, but the concern for Sunday night was taking contact and getting hit in the game. How are you going to play a football game if you have pain in your left shoulder due to a neck injury? How soon does that heal? How many weeks of not having pain in other parts of your body that stems from a neck injury do you need to have before you go back out there? Because you know what that tells me? He is one hit away from a serious injury. And you don't ever put anyone into a sport where they are one play away from severely hurting himself. I'm not convinced Daniel Jones plays again this year. You just looked at 2 quarterbacks in a workout. We just got word from Jones that he's feeling pain in his shoulder from his neck. Not a doctor. I'm not. And he could play this week, and I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm being the overly emotional, pessimistic Giants fan that I am. Neck injuries are scary, man. Doesn't matter what sport it is. You don't risk that stuff. Hurt neck behind this O-line? If I'm Daniel Jones' agent, if I'm Daniel Jones, I don't want to play because you could be one hit away from severely hurting yourself for the rest of your life. And that is never okay. I hope the best situation for Daniel Jones. I don't want him to play until he's 100% healthy and he's not a hit away from hurting himself even more so than he already is. So I'll ask you this question. Will Daniel Jones play again this season? What do you think? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I would probably type my Y for yes, but I'm not going to be shocked whatsoever if he doesn't play again. This year at least. Scary, scary stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope he's all right. Really, really do. Let's close out the show talking about the roster move the Giants made today. They are going to open up a roster spot by cutting offensive tackle Jaylen Mayfield after they signed him to the active roster Friday. So the Giants are doing some roster shuffling. They now have an open roster spot. Azeez Ojulari went to IR on Friday. Jaylen Mayfield went to the active roster. Now Mayfield's off the active roster. The Giants have one active roster spot. So what does that tell me? Justin Pugh, you are going to be signed to the New York Giants active roster any given moment. And that's kind of what the Giants knew all along. And let's be honest, the offensive line play across the National Football League is almost at an all-time low. And if you're a team that needs someone that can play guard and tackle, and you could poach Justin Pugh off the Giants practice squad, I would go do it right now, which tells me, Joe Schoen, you better sign Justin Pugh to the active roster before a team is going to poach Justin Pugh from this practice squad because it was never his plan to be on the practice squad long term. Pat Leonard said this about Justin Pugh. Pugh and the Giants talked transparently entering this. Pugh would try out as a practice squad player to prove he was healthy. If he did that, he would be worth a more formidable contract to reflect his value to the active roster. And certainly, last night's emergency left tackle work qualifies as even more early value than anyone expected. This is simply phase 2 of what he and the Giants already discussed. Pugh said all of this on the record. Justin Pugh wants a fully guaranteed deal. And after what I saw him do last night, starting at left guard, then having to go to left tackle after an injury, and he was able to put up formidable numbers, and he was able to keep his QB clean after 2 early sacks because he didn't have the cadence down with Tyrod Taylor. And once he settled in, this Giants offensive line was formidable. And that's all because number 67, the veteran, stepped in. He calmed everybody down and said, let's relax, let's play football, and let's be a little bit aggressive on this offensive line like the New York Football Giants always have been. The PFF grades weren't incredible for Justin Pugh, but think about it like this. Pugh hadn't played tackle with any regularity since 2017, and he played 38 pass blocking snaps there Sunday night. He allowed just 3 pressures. The pressure rate of 7.9% is the lowest of any Giants left tackle in 2023. This man was eating Cheetos 2 weeks ago on his couch, and now he's the best left tackle the Giants have had since week 1 and Andrew Thomas. If I'm Justin Pugh, I don't play another down for this football team until you sign me to a fully guaranteed deal for 1 season. Why else should he play? Why else should he sacrifice his body? He came out there without playing football for a year after tearing his knee up, was good at left guard, and then said, watch this. I'll go to left tackle, and I'll be the best guy you got there since you're all pro, tore his hamstring against the Cowboys chasing down a blocked field goal. If I'm Justin Pugh, I don't suit up again until I got a fully guaranteed deal. He probably will because he's a stand-up guy, and he's a captain, he's a veteran, and he's a leader. But I wouldn't do it. Show him some love, though, because what he was able to do last night was tremendous, factoring in the circumstances. I'm extremely proud of what he was able to do. Type those 67s down in the comment section. Show the former first-round pick for the New York Giants many, many years ago some love. Type 67 down below. Very, very, very good job by him last night. And I'm proud he's back on this football team. And he should have been on this team 7 months ago like we talked about on this channel. All righty, we appreciate you guys for always tuning in. Look, season could be over. We're down bad right now. But I am not going to quit on you guys. We're going to continue to pump out content, daily content, videos for free. So if that's what you're looking for, you don't quit on your team, subscribe to the channel. Let's go Big Blue.